because it is now afternoon. Good afternoon. We spent the morning getting some work done, and now we are getting ready to run some errands, but first, what do we need to do, Dylan?
We need to put on a sticker on our map.
So when we came back to Florida, we marked off a few counties that we hadn't stayed in. Now we're headed out of Florida, time to mark off another one.
Yep.
So we're getting ready to put on Duval County. Keep marking them off, don't we?
Yep.
Alright, rub it in good for us.
Headed to Georgia for a few days and then on to South Carolina. You want to show them what's so exciting about South Carolina on our other map?
Sure. You know, you have Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, North Carolina, pretty much all that surrounding area. But then there's this gap right here. South Carolina right here.
So you're pretty excited to get that one filled in, huh?
Yep. Then another one will be down.
Alright, so you guys saw our little drive-through we did on the way to our campsite yesterday. We'll give you a little more in-depth drive-through of Hanna Park at Hanna Park Campground here in Jacksonville. As we said, I think 100 times in that video yesterday, it's very tight. A lot of low-hanging limbs. So, I'm going to slide through this gate. They make you get a new gate code on Tuesdays, apparently. So, I'm going to slide through here, get our new gate code, and then we'll head back toward the campground. And we'll drive down a couple of the camping rows and give you guys an idea what this place is like. Alright, so we got our new gate code. You have to have a gate code to actually get into the campground. So we've got that. And we'll cruise on back here and show you guys the campground. So as you're coming through the campground, you'll see a lot of signs that have arrows that kind of point you toward the parking areas. So those are all beach access areas. So you can go down there. You got parking, and then you have access right there, right to the beach. There's another beach access. This beach access, this is the closest one to the campground. So I mean, I guess you can't really walk there from the campground. It's a pretty good little distance. I mean, I guess you could walk there if you didn't mind kind of a long walk, but you'd have to drive down there, ride a bike, something like that, and then you'd have access right there to the beach. So now for the fun part. Right up here at the front of the entrance of the campground, they have a camp store. And then you just go past the camp store, and back here is where the campground is. But you can see, I mean, how close these trees are to the edge of the road, and some of these turns are pretty tight. So, actually, I think we're following a fifth wheel in here, so that'll give you a really good idea of what we're talking about.
Low-hanging limbs, narrowing roads, and tight turns.
Yeah, that's an understatement. this is definitely a very old campground. It's a little confusing kind of driving through. They have some signs up, but it's just a little, the way it's laid out is just not super clear about which way you're supposed to go. The way the sights are angled, it looks like a lot of the rows should be a one-way because of the way the sight angles and backs in, but I don't guess they are. Even though they're so skinny, they probably should be. And looks like this guy's headed back kind of toward where we're going. Let him go get where he's going to go, because he's going to be a minute. So we'll go down this way and give you a good idea. So the ones on the left here are pull-throughs, so those wouldn't be too terrible. If you can get a pull-through sight, you're probably going to be in better shape than a back end if you have a bigger RV. You can see there's not a whole lot of room down through here. So if you have a sight on our left, that's a pull through, but the sights on the right are back end. But if you're coming in from this direction, you're coming in on the wrong angle. So you'd have to try to go down and some type of a U-turn or something to get in. And they don't really give you all that information up at the gate.
Pretty crazy that all of these sites show booked, because there's obviously quite a bit of availability here.
Yeah, like I said, when we couldn't find, when we thought we weren't gonna be able to get in underneath those low-hanging branches, we looked for a site and everything said it was full. But as you can see, that is definitely not the case. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that.
Not sure if it's because of like the Florida state parks. A lot of them end up getting booked because they're not super expensive. I believe the cost was about $34 a night here.
I mean, you would think if somebody wasn't going to show up, they would cancel. I mean, it's not, it's not a super cheap place to stay, but
I guess if you take into consideration you're getting full hookup for $33 or $34, it's cheaper than a lot of the RV resort type places.
Yeah, making his U-turn. I think he might be lost like we were. Well, we were technically lost. Just couldn't figure out how to get to our site.
And I'd be lost.
He's making another loop around. I mean, once you're in your site, it's nice and shady. I mean, they're nice shady sites, but you can tell, man, there is just, like this is a good example. I mean, this little section right here, the way the trees overhang, you know, the trees, a lot of the trees overhang into the road to the point where, you know, if you're not extremely careful, you could definitely clip the top of your RV on this tree, the way it kind of leans over the road. Now we're down here on the road that we're on, so of course you can see this road is not straight. It's very curvy. So yeah, bottom line, if you're looking at Hanna Park, I wouldn't say don't come here. I would say definitely try to get a pull-through site, because those are much more manageable, much more accessible, easier to kind of get in and out of, I think, than what these back ends are. So you can see this is the way we came in yesterday, but we have to go around this little bend right here, and you can see the angle of our fifth wheel. And that is not, the angle of that site is not conducive to coming in from this angle at all. So I think they would save everybody that comes in here that's not familiar with this place a lot of time and hassle and aggravation and stress, if they would either, you know, if they're not gonna make everything, you know, make the roads one way so that you come down the right direction, they at least need to give you a little more of a little more guidance at the gate there, as to which, you know, we're on row I. So if they would have told us what we needed to do was go past row I to row J, right? H-I-J. Go past row I to row J, come down J, and then come over to row I. That way we're on the right angle. Instead, we came down row I, we're on the wrong angle. Now I have to figure out what happens when I make the corner up here. Do I have clearance? You know, does this loop back around? I mean, you're kind of on your own, and being on your own in a place that's this tight, you know, that's stressful. I mean, there's no two ways about it. You know, it's just stressful trying to navigate through this place. And you know, just like that fifth wheel we followed in, you know, we passed him making the loop a couple times. I'm sure he's trying to figure out how he's going to get into his site, just like we did. So a little more guidance at the front gate there would go a long way to help people out, I think, when they come visit this place.
Dylan, do you have anything to say about Hanna Park?
So what? It's like the Amazon jungle of Florida.
So that's nice when it's hot, huh?
Yeah. And they probably save people a lot of time and a lot of money if you're not being careful. If they cut those limbs, they always hang down. That definitely make it not so bad. And if they made the road more straight too. And I've also seen some signs that say do not feed the possums, raccoons, alligators. And this was a weird one. Apparently there are feral cats around here or something. Possums, raccoons, alligators. It said do not feed possums, alligators, raccoons, or cats. So I guess they have feral cats around here or something. You know, I mean,
we haven't seen any though.
Yeah, we haven't seen any of those before. Well, then again, we've mostly been inside because even if it's wooded, it's Florida. It's still hot.
All right, wrapping up our first full day on the road here in Jacksonville. So we're heading out in the morning and head to a new spot, a spot that we haven't been to. It is up in Georgia, so we'll be officially all the way out of Florida tomorrow, and then from there we'll spend some time in Georgia. We're going to spend some time in South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky,
Then a little further west.
and then and then start working our way maybe out a little further west. So
not as far as last time.
no,
but
we're looking forward to it. You know, we're looking forward to getting out of here, and you know, I mean, mixed feelings about this place. I mean, it is, given its location, which is Jacksonville. Okay, I mean, you know, you drive for 15 minutes and you're in the middle of the madness of a, you know, of a huge city. So given its location, it's actually a really cool park, because you feel like you're so far out. I mean, you feel like you're in the woods pretty much. I mean, it's fairly quiet. I mean, you hear crickets and frogs, and you know, it's not a loud city park. So, you know, it's super shady. I mean, shady as in shaded, super super shaded from the sun, not super shady like sketchy shady. But you know, I mean,
and if you're a fan of the beach, it's super close.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, beach access right here from the park. So, you know, definitely has its pluses for sure. Would we stay here again? We might. We haven't been here one time now. We would definitely, like I said, we would definitely try to get a pull-through site. You know, once you stay here one time and you're familiar with the layout and you kind of understand what you're up against, it wouldn't be near as bad the second time. But man, the first time pulling through was rough. So
hopefully this video will help somebody else out that comes here for the first time in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, take a look at where your site's located. You know, and it definitely wouldn't hurt to ask them at the gate. You know, I don't know how helpful they would be. We didn't ask, so I don't know. Maybe they would have been extremely helpful if I would have asked. You know, when they asked me if I ever stayed here before, and I said no. You know, I guess I could ask them if there's anything special I need to know about getting into the site. But you know, you can inquire with them up at the gate. But other than that, that's about it. We're going to call tonight. We are going to get packed up. We're going to get out of here in the morning and get headed up into Georgia. So we will show you guys where we end up tomorrow night. That it?
That's it.
All right. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.